The red planet looms in the distance, a silent enigma that has captivated humanity for centuries. Mars, with its rust-colored deserts and towering volcanoes, beckons as a potential second home for humankind. Yet, beneath its serene facade lies a terrifying secret, one that even the most advanced scientific minds fear. Something so powerful, so unpredictable, that it could derail every plan to colonize this distant world. This is not a tale of science fiction, but a chilling reality, a phenomenon that has already claimed one of NASA's most iconic explorers. Buckle up, because what you're about to discover will leave you questioning whether humanity's dreams of Mars are destined to crumble into dust. Picture this: a barren landscape stretching endlessly under a salmon-pink sky. The air is thin, colder than the harshest Arctic winter, and the ground is littered with jagged rocks and fine reddish powder. Mars seems lifeless, a ghost of a planet frozen in time. But don't be fooled by its stillness. This world is far from dormant. It harbors a force so relentless that it can swallow entire missions, snuff out technology, and threaten the very survival of any human daring to set foot there. What is this force? A monstrous, planet-wide cataclysm that strikes without warning, capable of plunging Mars into darkness for months. This is the Martian dust storm, and it's the one thing even NASA fears. Before diving into this terrifying phenomenon, let's step back and understand why Mars holds such a grip on humanity's imagination. Earth, our beautiful blue home, is under strain. Resources are dwindling, forests are shrinking, rivers are drying, and the once abundant glaciers are melting into the seas. Scientists warn that by the end of this century, even if greenhouse emissions are curbed, over half of the world's fresh water sources could be gone. Coastal cities could be submerged, and equatorial regions may become uninhabitable due to scorching heat. But it's not just environmental collapse that haunts the future. A single catastrophic event, a rogue asteroid, a global conflict, or a deadly pandemic, could push humanity to the brink of extinction, just as it did the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. This looming threat has driven scientists to search for a backup plan, a second home where humanity can survive and thrive. Mars, our closest planetary neighbor, is the leading candidate. At 210 million kilometers away, it's no easy journey. But its similarities to Earth make it the best shot. A Martian day, or SOL, lasts 24.6 hours, just 36 minutes longer than an Earth day. Like Earth, Mars has seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter, though they stretch longer due to its 687-day orbit around the Sun. Ancient riverbeds, dry lake beds, and polar ice caps hint at a watery past, while towering mountains, sprawling valleys, and the solar system's largest volcano, Olympus Mons, mirror Earth's dramatic landscapes. Mars even has a faint atmosphere and gravity, about 38% of Earth's, offering a foothold for human exploration. But Mars is no paradise. Its similarities to Earth come with brutal caveats. Water exists, but it's locked in frozen ice beneath the surface, requiring advanced drilling and heating to access. Oxygen, the lifeblood of humanity, is scarce. Mars's atmosphere is 95% carbon dioxide, with only 0.13% oxygen, compared to Earth's 20%. Temperatures plummet to -6 degrees Celsius during the day and far colder at night, demanding heated shelters and specialized suits. Worst of all, Mars lacks a magnetic field to shield against the sun's deadly radiation, which could bombard future colonists with cancer-causing particles. These challenges, though daunting, have sparked ingenious solutions. NASA's MOXIE experiment has already produced oxygen from Martian air, converting carbon dioxide with heat and compression. Inflatable habitats, underground bunkers, and lava tube caves could protect against cold and radiation. Solar panels would power these systems, while greenhouses tested in Antarctica and aboard the International Space Station could grow food in sealed, controlled environments. Yet even with these innovations, one obstacle remains insurmountable: the Martian dust storm. These are not your average storms. They're not confined to a region or a season. They're planet-wide apocalyptic events that can engulf Mars in a choking veil of dust, blocking sunlight for months. Imagine a wall of red grit rising thousands of meters into the sky, racing across the planet at speeds up to 160 kilometers per hour. These storms, driven by the sublimation of dry ice, frozen carbon dioxide turning directly into gas, unleash winds so fierce they can shroud the entire globe. They strike roughly every 3 years, but their timing is unpredictable, and their cause is still a mystery. To grasp the terror of these storms, let's rewind to Mars' ancient past. Billions of years ago, Mars was not the desolate wasteland it is today. It was a vibrant world, with flowing rivers, vast lakes, and perhaps even microbial life. Its atmosphere was thick, trapping heat and sustaining liquid water. But something catastrophic happened. Mars's magnetic field weakened, and its atmosphere began to bleed into space. Over millions of years, the planet dried up, its water froze, and its air thinned to just 1% of Earth's. Today, this thin atmosphere creates extreme temperature swings. During the day, the ground might reach a balmy 23 degrees Celsius, but just a meter above, the air is freezing. These gradients fuel powerful winds, which whip up the fine, talc-like dust coating Mars's surface. Unlike Earth storms, which bring rain or snow, Martian storms carry dust, billions of tiny particles that linger in the atmosphere for months due to the planet's low gravity. The danger isn't just the wind. On Earth, a 160 km/h gale could topple buildings, but Mars's thin air means even high-speed winds lack the punch to cause structural damage. A 100 km/h wind on Mars feels like a gentle 10 km/h breeze on Earth. The real threat is the dust itself. It's finer than flour, electrically charged, and clings to everything. It can infiltrate machinery, clog filters, and coat solar panels, starving them of sunlight. For a human colony reliant on solar power for oxygen, water, and heat, a months-long blackout could be catastrophic. Communication systems could fail, navigation could become impossible, and the psychological toll of being trapped in a dark, dust-choked world would push even the strongest minds to the edge. This isn't speculation, it's already happened. On January 24th, 2004, a small but mighty explorer touched down on Mars's Meridiani Planum. This was NASA's Opportunity rover, a 6-wheeled marvel designed to study the planet's geology for just 90 days. Defying all odds, it roamed Mars for 15 years, covering 45 kilometers and beaming back over 200,000 images. It found evidence of ancient water, hematite minerals, and geological clues that reshaped our understanding of Mars's past. But in June 2018, its incredible journey came to a heartbreaking end. A colossal dust storm, one of the largest ever recorded, swept across the planet. The storm blocked 96% of the sunlight reaching Opportunity's solar panels, draining its battery. Images from the rover showed a sky darkening from pink to pitch black over just 30 days. NASA waited, hoping the storm would clear, but Opportunity fell silent, entering a deep sleep mode. For months, engineers sent commands, praying for a response. In February 2019, after over 1,000 unanswered signals, the mission was declared over. Opportunity's final message, haunting in its simplicity, was a whisper from a dying machine. "My battery is low, and it's getting dark." This wasn't just the loss of a rover. It was a wake-up call. If a dust storm could silence a machine as resilient as Opportunity, what chance would a human colony have? Every system planned for Mars, oxygen generators, solar arrays, communication relays, relies on sunlight. A single storm could cripple them all. Scientists have proposed backups, like nuclear power or wind turbines, but these are still in early stages. Nuclear reactors are heavy and expensive to launch, and wind turbines would struggle in Mars' thin air. For now, solar remains the primary option, leaving colonies vulnerable to the next big storm. What makes these storms so terrifying is how little we understand them. On Earth, we've studied hurricanes, tornadoes, and blizzards for centuries, yet we still can't fully predict or control them. Mars's storms are even more elusive. Scientists believe they're triggered by a combination of factors: the sublimation of dry ice at the poles, seasonal temperature shifts, and the planet's elliptical orbit, which brings it closer to the sun at certain times, heating the atmosphere unevenly. But the exact spark that turns a gust into a global tempest remains unknown. Satellites like NASA's MAVEN and India's Mangalyaan have mapped these storms from orbit, while rovers like Curiosity have weathered them on the ground. Yet each storm reveals new complexities. Some last weeks, others months. Some cover a region, others the entire planet. In 2022, a storm delayed NASA's Ingenuity helicopter flights, proving even the latest technology isn't immune. The human cost of these storms could be devastating. Imagine a colony of 100 settlers, carefully selected and trained, living in a network of habitats. They've mastered growing crops in greenhouses, recycling water, and producing oxygen. Then, a storm hits. The sky turns blood red, and sunlight vanishes. Solar panels grind to a halt, and backup batteries drain faster than expected. Oxygen levels drop, and the heating systems falter. Dust creeps into seals, jamming equipment. Outside, visibility is zero, making repairs impossible. Inside, the crew faces dwindling supplies and rising panic. Weeks stretch into months, and the storm shows no sign of stopping. This isn't a movie, it's a plausible scenario based on what we know today. Beyond the technical challenges, there's the emotional toll. Mars is already a lonely alien world. Colonists would be cut off from Earth, with communication delays of up to 24 minutes. During a storm, even those tenuous links could fail. The constant howl of wind, the darkness pressing against habitat windows, and the knowledge that help is millions of kilometers away could erode morale. Studies on Earth, like those in Antarctic research stations, show that isolation and confinement can lead to depression, anxiety, and conflict. On Mars, these pressures would be amplified. A storm could turn a tight-knit crew into a fractured one with no escape. So, why persist? Why risk everything on a planet that seems determined to reject us? The answer lies in humanity's unyielding spirit. Mars is more than a destination. It's a test of what we're capable of. Every challenge, from radiation to dust storms, pushes the boundaries of innovation. Scientists are already exploring solutions, dust-repellent coatings, inspired by lotus leaves, could keep solar panels clear. Autonomous rovers could deploy protective shields over equipment. Underground habitats, built in lava tubes, could offer natural insulation from storms. Even the dust itself could be a resource, compressed into bricks for construction or processed for trace nutrients. These ideas are in their infancy, but they reflect the same ingenuity that sent humans to the moon and built cities in deserts. Still, the dust storms loom as Mars's ultimate gatekeeper. They're a reminder that this planet doesn't welcome intruders. Every mission, from the Viking landers in the 1970s to the Perseverance rover today, has faced their wrath. In 1971, a global storm greeted NASA's Mariner 9 spacecraft, hiding the surface for weeks. In 2001, the Hubble Space Telescope captured a storm so massive it turned Mars into a featureless red orb. These events aren't anomalies, they're Mars' natural state, a cycle as old as the planet itself. To conquer them, humanity will need more than technology. It will need courage, adaptability, and a willingness to face the unknown. The loss of opportunity was a tragedy, but it was also a lesson. It showed that Mars demands respect. It's not a planet that can be tamed with brute force or wishful thinking. Every step toward colonization must account for its dangers, from the microscopic dust that can cripple machines to the global storms that can erase progress. Yet the dream persists. Private companies like SpaceX are racing to send humans to Mars by the 2030s. NASA's Artemis program aims to use the moon as a stepping stone for Martian exploration. International collaborations like the European Space Agency's ExoMars mission are laying the groundwork for future colonies. These efforts are fueled by a shared belief. Mars is humanity's next frontier, a place where we can redefine what it means to be human. But the clock is ticking. Earth's challenges, climate change, resource scarcity, geopolitical tensions are growing. Mars isn't just a backup plan, it's a hedge against oblivion. If we can build a colony there, we can prove that humanity isn't bound to one fragile planet. We can show that our species has the resilience to survive anywhere, even in the face of nature's fiercest trials. The dust storms are a formidable foe, but they're not invincible. With every mission, we learn more. With every failure, we grow stronger. The story of Mars is still being written, and humanity is holding the pen. As the red planet spins silently in the void, its storms rage on, indifferent to our ambitions. They've sculpted its surface for billions of years, carving canyons and burying ancient secrets in dust. They've challenged every machine we've sent and will test every human who follows. But they've also revealed Mars' character, a world of raw beauty and unrelenting power. To live there, we must embrace both. The dust storms are not just a threat. They're a call to action. They demand that we rise above our limitations, that we innovate, collaborate, and persevere. They remind us that the greatest discoveries come with the greatest risks. So what's next? Will we let the dust storms dictate our future, or will we find a way to stand against them? The answer lies in the hands of scientists, engineers, dreamers, and explorers, people who refuse to accept defeat. Mars is waiting, its red horizons shimmering with possibility and peril. The journey won't be easy, but nothing worth doing ever is. Let's take the first step, not in fear, but in awe of what lies ahead. The red planet is calling. Will we answer?